Mystery History and Future Danger. Prediction Document 9. Published on March 26, 2021. The Reign of Nuclear Weapons. What do people that hold power want? More power. The greed for power is almost insatiable. And the so-called powerful nations in the world are in a constant rat race to increase their military force. Nuclear weapons had been the prime focus for all of them. The more the attention, the more powerful it became. Remember the American attack on the Japanese? The present nuclear weaponry itself is 1,000-fold more dangerous and devastating than atomic bombs dropped off onto Hiroshima and Nagasaki decades back. Everyone seems to be very proud to claim that they are technologically advanced. Most thought that it was a human victory. But I believe that it is wise to take a moment and pause that thought. If one nation opens fire, it would be the end of the world. Going 2,500 years back, the Supreme Buddha, who foresaw the future world, preached about this. There will be a time when the immorality of man will go above and beyond the limits. And when that happens, his vicious nature will bring upon hails of bullets and rain of weapons. Through that calamity, the man will be calling for his death. So, the Reverend addressed the matter in this way. This decade is going to be unpredictably dangerous for the world. It could be called a world catastrophe, and it has happened before. The Mayan civilization was destroyed. The Egyptian civilization was destroyed. In Sri Lanka, the Rawana civilization, the Anuradhapura civilization, the Polonnaruwa civilization, all were destroyed. Back through time, human civilizations were constantly emerging and disappearing around the world. It is a recurring phenomenon seen in world history, and the same old story is happening again. I warned about the events that we bumped into in the year 2020, right before it happened. Next, I said that 2030 is a lot more catastrophic. If set side by side with 2030, the emergence of the coronavirus in 2020 is trivial. And many more warning signs will show up in the time in between. The 2024 disaster, which I mentioned earlier, would also be a call of warning from nature. Let me tell you an example from the past, something that had already happened. So, people will find this concept much easier to digest. About 50 or 60 years ago, when I was a small kid, the chief Taro in my village temple preached about this reign of weaponry that will cause a great calamity. Many lives will end. A few will crawl into caves and hideouts to escape the destruction. Many who fail will perish. I was too small to realize what the chief Taro preached. So I came home and asked my mother, "Mom, what is this reign of weapons? Is it weapons like knives and axes? Is that even possible?" As those were what I have seen in the household, they were the only weapons I knew at that time. My mother replied, "Oh son, even I'm not clear about it. Let's ask Taro himself." So, one fine day, we went to the temple and questioned Taro about this. On the contrary, even the monks could not give an exact answer. But he replied, "Books say that once a person gets himself in the middle of such reign of weaponry, they will also be devastated. Perhaps there is poison in the rain. Maybe that is why it says that some people crawl into caves. So that rain of weapons must be a shower of poison." However, the preaching of the Buddha states that rain of weapons will fall. It was 5 to 6 decades back. Not even the monks were aware of nuclear weapons. But regardless, 2,500 years ago, the Supreme Buddha foresaw the future. Many people at that time failed to interpret what the Buddha said simply because nuclear munition was never heard of. The actual interpretation was a mystery. Some might have thought that it is a lie. But now we are in the process of understanding the seriousness of the matter that the Supreme Buddha preached.